If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description. Metroidvanias have exploded in popularity over the years, with some of the biggest titles becoming household names. But for every Hollow Knight or Symphony of the Night or Rabby Ribby, there's a treasure trove of lesser-known games waiting to be discovered. These are the Metroidvania hidden gems, titles that might have flown under the radar. Now, let me be clear, not every game on this list is going to be a masterpiece. Some are rough around the edges, and others cater to very specific tastes. But whether it's a unique art style, an unconventional mechanic, or just an intriguing premise, each of these games brings at least something interesting to the MV table, and are either obscure or are destined for obscurity if we don't talk about them. And though not every single game on this list is going to be a certified banger for everyone, I bet there's going to be a few you might dig. Hey, I'm the Metroidvania Guru, and this is the top 10 Metroidvania hidden gems.
Number 10.
I'm starting this list out light with Valda's story, Abyssal City. If you're a regular on my channel, this one should ring a bell. It was the single most requested review from my viewers, even beating out Hollow Knight. While Valda's story isn't exactly obscure in the hardcore Metroidvania scene, I guarantee it's flown under the radar for more casual fans. This 2013 gem follows Wyatt and his crew, a group of warriors caught in an epic war between angels and demons. Set in the ruins of an underwater city, the game boasts fluid, combo-heavy combat, deep customization options, and a branching narrative with invisible triggers that can lead to some devastating consequences. Like, say, getting an entire town slaughtered? Did I say an entire town? I meant multiple towns. This game's kinda brutal, but that's part of the charm for its diehard fans. Its brutality is often cited as one of its greatest strengths, alongside its unique visual style, insane replayability, thanks to 4 playable characters and tons of build options, and its fascinating post-game lore. It's not hard to see why Valda's story Abyssal City has earned a cult following. It's a brutal and beautiful journey for those who dare to dive in.
Number 9.
This entry might seem odd for a hidden gems list because, well, it's the Ninja freaking Turtles. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Radical Rescue just got a re-release on the Cowabunga collection. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't know that Radical Rescue is a true blue Metroidvania. In this 1993 Game Boy classic, all the turtles except Mikey have been captured, leaving our nunchuck-wielding party dude to save the day. As Mikey rescues his brothers, you unlock each turtle's unique traversal ability, like Mikey's nunchuck hovering, and Donnie's wall climbing, and Leo's sword drilling, or whatever, allowing you to bypass utility gates and explore new areas. The game leans on the linear side, but it checks off plenty of Metroidvania boxes. Now here's a cool bit of trivia. Since Radical Rescue was developed by Konami, and most people agree Castlevania II Simon's Quest isn't a true Metroidvania, Radical Rescue might actually be Konami's first official dip into the genre, predating Symphony of the Night. That's why I propose we rename Metroidvania to Metroidbunga to better reflect historical accuracy. If you agree, smash that like button. If you disagree, still smash it, but maybe frown dramatically while doing so.
Number 8.
In Tomomi, you play as Tomomi, a thirsty assassin on a mission to take down an evil CEO of an evil corporation. Armed with zero stealth and plenty of sword-based violence, Tomomi slices her way through a perilous office building while also trying to hook up. I'm going to be real with you, Tomomi is kind of a terrible Metroidvania. It's incredibly linear, with inexplicable barriers that stop you from sequence breaking, and its character portraits, let's just say they look like they were drawn by someone who just discovered anime fan art in MS Paint. The dialogue doesn't help either. It sounds like it was written by a horny teenager. Yet, despite all this, I think Tomomi is worth checking out. It's surprisingly fast, smooth, and fun. Cutting down enemies or swinging over lava pits feels incredibly satisfying. And the gameplay loop of slashing enemies, collecting coins, and upgrading Tomomi's abilities in the shop is oddly addicting. It's also short enough to not overstay its welcome, with a New Game Plus mode that actually gives the game's bosses new moves and attack patterns, making it unexpectedly replayable. If you've got an afternoon to kill and low inhibitions, Tomomi might just be the kind of weird, flawed gem you'll enjoy.
Number 7.
Trans-Tsurubi stars Tsurubi, a cyborg girl with the ability to transform into vehicles like a motorcycle and a jet. Hence the title Trans-Tsurubi. With her AI companion Neon by her side, Tsurubi explores a mysterious planet that has suddenly appeared in their dimension. What starts as an exploration mission quickly becomes a strange adventure involving an ancient civilization and advanced technology gone horribly wrong. One look at Trans-Tsurubi should tell you if it's your kind of game. It's vibrant, colorful, and full of pixelated charm. Its bubbly aesthetics are paired with a mostly lighthearted narrative, mostly because the story takes a darker turn near the end as Tsurubi uncovers the planet's tragic history. Yet, even with these dire revelations, the game never loses its cheerful tone. If a bright, accessible Metroidvania with freeze gun mechanics, quirky puzzles, and a fun collectathon vibe sounds appealing, Trans-Tsurubi might just be the perfect addition to your library.
Number 6.
If you're into Slavic mythology and cats, boy have I got a game for you. In Cat Maze, you play as Alesta, a young sorceress on a quest to revive her mother. Along the way, she encounters and battles creatures from Slavic folklore, including Chernobog, a name I previously only associated with Shin Megami Tensei games. At first glance, Cat Maze might look like a cheap iPhone game, with its lackluster character portraits and somewhat muddy pixel art style, but don't let that fool you. This game has depth. Exploration is rewarding, and combat is enjoyable thanks to a familiar system that lets you summon a variety of animals and creatures to fight alongside Alesta, including a wave of cats. The real highlight, though, is how the game weaves its side quests and seemingly unrelated NPC stories into the main narrative, culminating in a satisfying true ending. While it may not be the greatest Metroidvania you'll ever play thanks to a little jank, Cat Maze is unexpectedly fun.
Number 5.
Finding Teddy 2 is a love letter to the phantasmagoric fantasy of the 80s. If you grew up loving movies like Labyrinth, The Never-Ending Story, and The Dark Crystal, you'll instantly connect with Finding Teddy 2's vibe. You play as Tarant, a little girl thrust into a mystical world on a quest to rescue her teddy bear buddy from an evil usurper. Exploration and combat are solid enough, but what truly makes this game memorable is its whimsical yet mysterious atmosphere. It's packed with larger-than-life creatures, both friend and foe, that give me the same feeling I got when I first saw Rockbiter and Falcor as a kid all those years ago. What sets Finding Teddy 2 apart is its musical hook. The game has a musical lexicon you'll need to decipher to communicate with NPCs and solve puzzles using an instrument called the Musicom. It's a unique and engaging mechanic that I couldn't get enough of. Musically inclined players will enjoy interpreting the melodic language of the game's creatures and using the Musicom to bridge that gap. Finding Teddy 2 takes the phrase, playing it by ear, to a whole new level.
Number 4.
Let's clear up a couple of things before diving into this entry. First, the game is pronounced Knit Underground. It's a Swedish word from a Swedish developer. Second, I hate this game, but I'm adding it to the hidden gems list because it's genuinely at risk of fading into obscurity. And believe it or not, it has its fans. I'm obviously not one of them, but maybe you'll dig it after hearing about it. Knit Underground is an atmospheric Metroidvania that ditches combat entirely, focusing instead on exploration and traversal, primarily through transforming into a bouncing ball. You play as Mies Sprocket, a mute sprite navigating a sprawling, post-apocalyptic underground world filled with strange creatures and secrets. Fans often praise the game for its emotional storytelling and its deep philosophical themes about existence and purpose, conveyed through Mii's fairy companions. Think of these fairies as the angel and devil on a cartoon character's shoulders. When Mii interacts with NPCs, you can choose to let the optimistic fairy speak for her or let the nihilistic one ruin everyone's day. When it launched back in 2012, Knit Underground boasted the largest Metroidvania map of its time. It looked like a really complex Pac-Man stage, and I was a little intimidated. While I didn't enjoy the game, I did love its trippy and surreal environments. If you're a fan of Knit Underground, let me know in the comments. It's been over a decade since I played it, so maybe you can convince me to give it another shot.
Number 3.
Redo is a tough game for me to talk about. I genuinely love it, but I'm not sure who to recommend it to. On one hand, it's janky, features a minimalist narrative with rough translation and localization, and has an amateurish art style that some might dismiss as cheap or generic. But on the other hand, it nails mood, exploration, and survival with challenging combat that keeps you on edge. Its dreamlike aesthetic and eerie soundtrack create a uniquely unsettling experience. With its somber tone and overwhelming sense of isolation, few games capture dystopian sci-fi as effectively. To set the stage, Redo is set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by biomechanical horrors. You play as a pill-addicted lone survivor, depressed and aimless, until a disembodied voice tells her to meet at church. With this mysterious directive, she gains a renewed sense of purpose and begins her journey through a desolate landscape. I'll be honest, Redo isn't for everyone, but it is short, so even if you hate it, it won't take much of your time. But if its atmosphere resonates with you, you might fall in love with it like I did. Fair warning though, the ending raises more questions than it answers. Take a look and decide for yourself if this eerie little gem deserves your time.
Number 2.
What would happen if you gave Samus Aran a Tamagotchi? The answer is Monster Tale. This DS gem combines Metroidvania exploration on the top screen with a pet-raising simulator on the bottom. But it's not just any pet, it's Chomp, your monster companion with an endless appetite and the potential to evolve into a powerful ally. You play as Ellie, a young girl whisked away to a magical world. As she explores, Chomp grows stronger by fighting enemies alongside her and by eating and interacting with items in the bottom screen's pet sanctuary. This dynamic relationship adds a refreshing twist to the game's run-and-gun combat, puzzle solving, and progression. Monster Tale is an innocent, heartwarming game with charming aesthetics and a story that's perfect for younger gamers or anyone looking for a more lighthearted Metroidvania experience. While it's not too challenging, it still delivers that addictive gameplay loop we all love. Explore, find upgrades, enhance both Ellie and Chomp, and take down bosses. This game might not be groundbreaking, but it's undeniably fun, and its unique mix of mechanics makes it a standout in the genre.
Number 1.
Marrow is not for everyone. Honestly, it almost wasn't for me. It's deliberately dark, maddeningly cryptic, and riddled with design choices that seem like they're trying to push players away. There's no map, save points are few and far between, and dying means recollecting items and enduring some painfully long runbacks. Oh, and most of the time, you can't even see your health. Combined, these factors make Marrow insanely difficult, more a test of perseverance than a video game. So, why do I like Marrow? Because, despite all its glaring flaws, it manages to capture everything I love about a Metroidvania. Exploration that's rewarding, genuinely difficult puzzles, and a creepy, otherworldly atmosphere that weaves a fragmented narrative I actually found interesting. And then there's its unique, and at times frustrating, hook, the Luminous Orb, an item used for solving puzzles and deflecting attacks in combat. I'm not saying the Luminous Orb worked perfectly, but it was still a neat concept. But recommending Marrow is tricky. It's too hard, too janky, and too cryptic for most players. Yet, there's something undeniably compelling about it. It's a halfway competent Metroidvania with a niche appeal that creates an experience unlike any other, for better or for worse. And for all its flaws, Marrow stuck with me in a way few games do, which is why I'm naming it my top Metroidvania hidden gem. And there you have it, 10 Metroidvania hidden gems that might just be worth your time. But what do you think? Did I miss any lesser known treasures that deserved a spot on this list? Tell me in the comments. I'm always on the hunt for the next great Metroidvania. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Metroidvanias. And of course, ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, nerds.